Someday I should put some inspirational music over this. So behind me is El Camino Real High School, my high school. And as a teacher, I think it's important that you know I was not a good student. I was a C average at best and goofing around and almost got kicked out of school. How, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Over by Miguel Leones. This is the gate, anyway, for Miguel Leones. Miguel Leones is a continuation school, which is a fancy way of saying you got kicked out of high school, you get to go here instead. What happened to me was, when I was in high school and elementary and middle school, all that time, we didn't call it middle school when I was a kid, it was junior high and we liked it. Anyway, when I was in those grades, I was a kid who got in fights a lot. Like once a year I get in a fight, usually report card day. And the rule was, in high school, if you got in 3 fights, you would get kicked out of El Camino and get the opportunity transfer to Miguel Leones. So I'd already had 2, and it came around, and it was, I think it was 11th grade. And I was in my wrestling class, and I couldn't get another fight. I'd be in trouble. So I wasn't thinking that at the time. But there was a kid who decided to watch me walking, because I was a goofy guy, not like now where I'm totally cool and serious all the time. But saw me walking and he said, "What's your name? Baby Huey?" Like the cartoon, that guy, Baby Huey. That normally would have been enough for me to go into Hulk mode and try and attack him, and I would have gone right out. But instead, my smartass mode kicked in, and I said, "No, what's your name? Chester?" Apparently, he didn't like being called Chester because he jumped me. Now, I was 165 pounds, 6'1", in better shape than now, I would hope. I'm 54 now. God, imagine if I was the same as I am now, 30, 40 years ago. Yikes. Anyway, so this guy was small, like middle school sized in high school. Like he had jumped ahead only in years, but not in size or intelligence. So he jumps me, and I throw him down. Remember, it's a wrestling class. So I grab him and I put him in a wrestling hold and put him on the ground. And Larry in my class yelled, "Take down, 2 points." So I at least got 2 points out of it. And then in all the fights I've had, I've never hit someone in the face. I don't know, just felt like I would hurt them. Yeah, I know, isn't that dumb? But I'm ready to this time. So I take my fist, and I pull it back, and I hit him. And I feel Coach Goffman's hand on my wrist just before I hit him. And my first thought was, oh, going to Miguel Leones. So they called my parents, and my dad had to come and get me. And I had to go into the counseling office and wait. And by the time they got there, my counselor was there. And here's the thing. My counselor was my wrestling coach, Mr. Goffman. So he knew me. He knew the other kid. He knew what would happen if I got suspended. So after we talked a little while, he said, "Why don't you just go home for the day?" And that was it. And that was my last fight in school. So, your counselors are trying. They're trying not to suspend you, honest. Mine was anyway. All right, that's my story. I'm going to tell you another story about ditching. This is the outdoor shopping area that's right outside of Calabasas. And that CVS used to be a Thrifty. And when I was in high school, Wayne and I would often, very often, use our lunch passes to leave school at lunchtime, walk over here, and then get an ice cream and then walk back. Well, here's the thing. There's not enough time to do that in just lunch. It's only 45 minutes or whatever. So we would ditch our creative writing class that was right afterward. So you might think that would be a problem, and getting notes and stuff would be bad, but I had two things working for me. One, my parents both worked, and so during the day the only person home was my grandmother, who spoke very broken Italian, English, mixed stuff. So if they called, they would just get her. And I had signed my own emergency card, so whenever I needed a note, I would just sign it and it would match. Yeah, what an example I am. Now it occurs to me as I stand outside the now closed Denny's of my mostly misspent youth, you might be thinking, why did you tell those stories? You have students. What are you, a nut? Well, a couple things. One, worked out. Came out all right. I got a great job. I have a happy marriage. It came out okay. So that's one thing. Second thing, though, it took a long time. It really took a lot of missteps and screwing around, and that was a mistake. Now, if you're getting out of high school and you go, you know what, I need a gap year, whatever, do it. If you're not ready to go to college, great. But don't do what I did and spend 25 years messing around and screwing up, and don't get in fights in school and all that garbage. I did it already. Doesn't help, okay? Do your thing. Okay. Enough lecture. God, it's supposed to be fun.